What's going on, geeks and gamers? It's your observant lineman, Uche Nwaneri, and the Joker is finally here. It's finally here. Todd Phillips, Joaquin Phoenix, in a movie that is going to be talked about for a very long time. Now, obviously, we know that there's some controversy around this movie, but don't believe the fear-mongering. This movie is an excellent piece of art. Joaquin Phoenix did an amazing job. No doubt will be the front runner for many of the awards in the award season, unless Hollywood should decide to shill it up and kick against his performance based on the false narrative and the false equivalency that some SJW types are trying to label this movie as. And it took me a little bit of time to process this movie, but it was just raw, and it was a lot of truth. There was a lot of truth in that movie. It came together so well. It was such a nice, satisfying burn, from the beginning to the end. It's a magnificent film, and I would urge you all to go see it. Not just because it's DC, well, maybe a little bit because it's DC, but because this is a film that changes how, we're going to receive movies that make us feel a little bit uncomfortable. There are some scenes that are uncomfortable, and there are some moments that are so tense, you could cut the tension in the air with a butter knife. But I do want to bring to attention a little bit of the nonsense that we're already seeing in how the Joker is being treated by the critics. Now, again, when you talk about how they lose their credibility, this is it right here. 69%, 313 critics, to a audience score of 93%, with 2,500 people having verified ratings. Verified. That shows you the ratio in which, these critics who are so quick to label something like this as a dangerous movie, it shows you how small a percentage of the actual population they are and how little their opinions should matter. 69% on a movie that has been universally praised, that won the Golden Lion Award at the Venice Film Festival. And, it just goes to show that the bias that they're showing against it is clearly not working. And it clearly is, it stays in a small percentage of people who actually have interest in seeing this movie. Now, when I take a look at other movies, you just continue to see a clear-cut difference between what critics are saying and what people who are going and watching the videos are saying. 26% to 82% for Stallone in Rambo: Last Blood. Now, I haven't seen it yet, but I hear that people, enjoy it. I hear that when you go into the movie, you go into it with the mind state of this is a Rambo movie. After the first Rambo, things just went off the rails and it became one of those 80s action films. And this is kind of a remix of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Then you have Shaft, another movie in the same kind of vein. 32% from the critics, 94% from the audience. Let's keep going. It Chapter 2, 63% to 78%. Audience and critics. And then, of course, the infamous Captain Marvel, 78% with critics, 54% with the audience. And we all know what this one is. The Last Jedi, 91% from the critics, 44% from the audience moviegoers. Clear discrepancy between what critics view as good movies, as good art, and what the audience views as good movies and what we view as good art. And as a fan of DC, as a fan of this amazing masterpiece of a movie, utterly ridiculous. When we talk about, why has the media become so unreliable in how they report perspectives on different stories in our society? You look at a movie like Joker and, you look at all the fear mongering that's going on online with these SJWs, with these beta type people who don't understand how to appreciate an art form, they don't understand how to appreciate the craft that goes into making a film like The Joker. And, they want to point fingers at something and blame it for the ills in society. They want to point fingers at video games. They want to point fingers at movies. They want to point fingers at subject matter that causes people to feel a little bit uncomfortable, to have to kind of face the realities of what our society has become over the last recent times. Going back 20, 30 years, you look at the setting and you look at how Joker is set up to hold our faces up to that mirror and show us what we as a society have done and how complicit we are in some of the things that are negative that occur in our lives. And one of the biggest things about this movie to me was the attention to detail in someone's the slow burn of somebody who is losing confidence in the world around them, who's losing the ability to have any kind of empathy because he's been shown none. And in the end, when those kind of feelings boil over, there is the possibility that bad things can happen. And we see it every day in our own society. This isn't the kind of movie that's going to inspire somebody to go out and be violent. I mean, the movie, in all honesty, there's not that much violence in it. There's really not. It's just that when there is violence, it is intense and it is centralized based on the experiences of Arthur. And, I'm not going to go into any spoilers. I'm not going to give anything away. I just, as I watched this movie, I almost had I was tense the entire time. My heart was beating a little bit faster. The performance by Joaquin Phoenix in this movie is, when you talk about an elite level of talent, an elite dedication, a laser focus on becoming the character, it stands toe to toe with Heath Ledger. It does. And again, don't listen to all the fear mongering. Don't listen to all of the negative headlines out there. They're trying to, place a certain kind of agenda on this movie, kind of place it in a certain kind of category as something that shouldn't exist. It is utter bullshit. This movie holds a mirror up to our faces. And yes, it does revolve around a centralized figure in Arthur Fleck. And, just to kind of, again, praise Joaquin Phoenix, this guy is in every scene of this movie. He is in every single shot. And, to be able to carry a movie the way he did, being in every moment of it, you don't see that in, in a lot of, top tier movies. He's in the entire thing. He is in the entire movie from the very first shot to the very last. And it says something about a guy's skill as an actor when you can carry a movie with consistency and with excellence in the way that he acted. So, this is somewhat of a review of Joker because I absolutely loved it, 10 out of 10. But it's also a stark condemnation of the SJW identity politics that has infected every aspect of pop culture, every aspect of media, every aspect of news. This is a stark condemnation of how a movie like this can be rated a 69. I don't care if it's fresh. It's dope. We know it. It's beyond fresh. It's dope. How a movie like this can have a 69 because people are scared of the message that it pushes out in terms of what we can become when you don't pay attention to issues like mental health, when you don't pay attention to issues like, the divide of income equality amongst the social classes in our country. when you have big corporations who don't give a damn about the little man. And sorry, my phone was buzzing a little bit there. These aren't things that fall into any kind of singular political aisle of thought. These are things that the everyday person feels about how the world is operating around us. This is about, putting that, personifying that feeling, that tension within our own society into a film that has a great story. It has excellent structure in terms of taking us through Arthur's life, letting us see every aspect, letting us experience his hopes, his disappointments, his frustrations. We see all of it. We feel all of it. This is the most realistic Gotham that I've ever seen. And again, I'm trying to make sure that I tread lightly and don't go into any kind of spoiler territory, but there's a chain of events in this movie that, as it plays out, just a level of alertness and a level of adrenaline just started building up in me. I mean, and when it got to that climax, it was simply magnificent how the last 30 minutes of this movie come together. And that's as much as I can say without actually going into spoilers. But again, don't listen to the crap that you're hearing out here in the media. I mean, you guys all know that it's all garbage. Don't listen to it. This movie is going to be talked about for a long time. I didn't even want to get in front of a camera until I could process this last night, because it was so unique. It was so well thought out, so meticulously crafted that I had to actually sleep on it. That's how good this movie was, because I didn't want to do it any injustice of, jumping in front of a camera and giving a review as fast as I can and not really conveying the feelings. Yes, the excitement would be conveyed, but the feeling and the understanding of what I just watched didn't begin to sink into me until I woke up this morning. Hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe to The Observant Lineman, subscribe to Geeks and Gamers. I'm Uche Nwaneri, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.
Hey everyone, it's Jeremy from geeksandgamers.com, and if you're a fan of Geeks and Gamers, please go to our website, visit our merchandise store. We have t-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, tank tops, and in the very near future, we're going to have many more products for you to choose from. So thank you for the support. We appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you later.